When designing a piping system in Revit, you will typically use the same general process to lay out the system. First, you need to add the equipment. However, most of the equipment that needs to be piped may have already been placed during the design of the airside system. Next, you can define a piping system. Realize that you can define a piping system without creating piping. Or, you can create the piping and connect the mechanical equipment in order to define a piping system. If you are not ready to create piping in the project, Revit provides tools to place pipe placeholders during design development stages. Once the piping has been modeled, you can add pipe accessories, such as valves and strainers, and then add pipe insulation. Once the system is complete, you can schedule and tag the piping components. This is a high-level overview of the typical piping workflow. Let's discuss some of these steps in a little more detail. You may be wondering why we should create piping systems in Revit. Piping systems are logical entities that facilitate calculations for flow and sizing of piping. Once piping systems are created in your model, you will have a better understanding of the piping systems in the project. You will also have the ability to create view filters in order to see the various systems. By default, there are several system types for pipe, such as domestic, fire protection, hydronic, sanitary, and vent. However, you can create additional custom system types to handle the needs of the piping systems in your project. Remember that piping systems can be created in two ways. One way is to simply add pipe to connect the components, and they will automatically be added to a piping system. The other way is to select the components and manually add them to a system. Then you can have Revit generate and lay out the piping. In order for a component to be added to a system, the family must have a pipe connector. A piping system consists of one or several target connectors and one source connector. Typically, a source connector is on the mechanical equipment, such as a pump, while the target connectors are the various components receiving the fluid. Additionally, when modeling piping, you should route main piping and cap open mains to begin modeling a system. Then place branch pipes and connect them to the main piping. Revit provides tools to help you define routing preferences so that you can quickly lay out piping systems. Next, you need to connect the branches to the equipment by either using flexible pipes or rigid piping. Then you can size the piping as necessary if you did not do so during the routing. Also, throughout the entire design process, you should always coordinate interferences with other disciplines.